What up? What up? Welcome to 420 TV. So I'm having issues here. I did get, a couple of watermelon sprouts. This is all potatoes that I planted in the winter. But none of my seed sprouts are coming up, and it's pissing me off. Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but they did not like it. So I've been taking the ones out, of course, that sprout and putting them someplace. But I did this whole batch. I got spinach, onions, peppers, melons, and I'm gonna say like a 95% or more failure here. Nothing happened. So I don't know if it was the soil mix that I use. So I went and got some, instead of doing things ghetto like I usually do, I went and got some starter mix, right, for the seeds. Same result. I don't know. Is there something in the water? Or maybe that's jacking it up this year. I don't know. However, as you can see over here, there's stuff just popping up everywhere that I planted last year. Or not, yeah, last year in the winter. So like here's more potatoes. I think that's some barrage back there, right there. And then I got all these nice walk-in onions popping up. Spring onions hidden everywhere. Got some good spinach going on. This actually has survived since I planted it in the spring of last year. And this is another one of the original plants. And I got this big old cilantro plant we've been eating off of. And I really don't know what kind of onions these are. I took onions off the table and planted them out here. So that's what some of that is. But you can see all these potatoes popping up. And it appears something's eating on them. See right there? I don't know what that is. So, is that mold on it? What's going on? I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But yeah, nothing's sprouting and it's pissing me off. And these right here, if you can see this green growth right here on all of these are romaine lettuces that we ate a couple weeks ago, and I just buried them back in there. And they start growing again, as long as they don't get too baked by the sun. There's a sprout over there, something. But what's really trippy is this over here. I got all of these sprouts, which I'm pretty sure are tomato sprouts. And the funny thing is that it's from like 5 inches down there. Where the old tomato plants dropped some of the little ones, and it's growing, and my lime tree survived the winter just barely, but it is coming back to life. Yeah, so there's all kinds of sprouts here, but unfortunately it's nothing that I planted, so I'm gonna have to keep taking these tomatoes out of here and then moving them around in different places. It's kind of similar to what happened last year, and I ended up with a tomato forest. However, I put a lot of other like chili peppers in here, and it seems like nothing from this year is growing. Oh, we got tomato plants even coming in from the cracks back there. I'm pretty sure these are tomato. It's just left over from last year. So nothing new, but I am about to put a bunch of bok choy. Oh, there's even a barrage starting to come out that's not even in it. Anyway, so this is a bunch of bok choy seeds that I had last year, that off of one plant that survived, and we ate off that plant like 4 times. And this is pretty easy, so we saved all these little like seed pod bean things or whatever. So I'm just gonna crunch all these up like this. Check this out. This is really easy to get all of your seeds out of there, because they're really heavy seeds. For how little they are. So you just get all of that, bust that up, and then check it out. See that? Now we got all the seeds, and we're gonna go plant these somewhere else. So this is all experimental farming. Got some garlic here, down here. It's not doing so well. However, these walking onions are doing quite well. So this is a whole colony of this. That's really weird. I don't know what that's about. But anyway. Yeah, so all of this is like a colony that I started from one walking onion. And I showed you the other one. So I have colonies everywhere. But since I'm experimental, we're just going to get some of this stuff here. And we're going to put it in here with all these bugs and stuff. And maybe some of this bok choy will take hold. Because the only one I had last year actually was accidental. So the one we ate off of last year was totally accidental. So what I did is I went down here where all the rainwater goes. And we're just going to put bok choy right in it. So. And maybe, since it already liked it here, more will grow. Or at least that's the hope. So we're gonna throw a couple there, a couple there. Maybe a couple will grow. That ought to be cool. So we're trying to make this like food that I don't have to pay attention to. And there appears to be a little tomato plant there, and a watermelon there. And there's a lot of water that comes off the house out of this drain, just right here. So, you know, hopefully some of these will take root. I haven't been doing too good with the seeds this year, but we'll see. And I planted more of that down here. So I'm kind of converting what used to be like the hollyhock area, because obviously it likes the free water that it gets. And since it's warm now, I don't think I'm gonna have another problem with stuff not growing over here. And I don't even know how you're supposed to plant bok choy, but judging by the plant, it'll do fine wherever it starts growing. Get some big edible leafy plants out of it that you don't really have to water that much. And you can come out multiple times and eat it. Over here we got all kinds of stuff growing. I don't know what some of it is, so we'll probably have to pull a bunch of it out. Like this is a little mesquite tree here, hollyhock there. I want to get that out of. I got a bunch of garlic growing in here, leftover soil from last year, and it's been building year by year, so you don't have to buy soil. But the first time, that's an old cantaloupe husk, and I just keep throwing stuff like that in here. Here's an old onion, it's rotten in there, and it might start growing too, you never know. But yeah, some of this is food that's starting to pop up in here, radishes and whatnot from last year. That's cool. See you later, dudes. Parsley?
Yeah. Flat leaf.
Get some lettuce over here. Wow.
Flat leaf lettuce, parsley.
This is carrot.
No, that's mammoth dill coming up.
Dill.
They look very similar when they come up.
Wow. Yeah, you got it going on in here.
Last year. And this barrage is flowering. That shouldn't flower unless it's really warm. That's bizarre.
That from getting locked in here? This is taking over my garden.
That's a barrage. These are the barrage right here. See them?
Yeah.
That's the same as that, but that's like fully grown, and this one too. Because it's in the corner and it's getting warm. This one grew all winter.
Wow. Yeah. That's what I have everywhere. It's
the borage.
Yeah.
That's an awesome plant because it brings all the pollinators and insects you need that kill all the insects that eat vegetables.
It takes over though.
Yeah, you just gotta
rip it out.
Make sure it's around your shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I planted it thinking every so often I'd put one, but now it's like, you know, it seeded itself in there, so it's everywhere. So I have these little things popping up in clumps everywhere.
Well, what they use that for is mulching. So you just let it grow until there, and you just start pulling the leaves off so you can mulch around your vegetables.
That makes sense.
For free. They use green mulch. Because those will get fucking where you live, like us. Like 4 feet high and a big...
It's big. It was in the tomatoes last year. It was like...
A big bush.
then let's see here.
These are our volunteer tomatoes from last year. They just
Wow.
came up from the tomatoes.
Where's the smallest tomato in here? Because I know this is like, this is what I have a problem with as being somebody that doesn't know anything. Is
tomato,
right when they pop
flat
up.
leaf parsley.
Yeah, okay.
Tomato, flat leaf parsley. But in a tomato, you'll see it looks the same the whole way. Here it is. Here it is.
Okay. Yeah, so for sure I have a bunch of second gens in my yard all over the place.
The beautiful thing about a tomato is the only plant that, so all these white hairs that are down there,
Yeah.
see all the white hair? Those are all root positions, so you can bury the plant all the way up to here, and when you repot it,
Oh,
and
cool,
even if
yeah.
you cut all the roots off the bottom, let's say here, it would re-root on those hairs.
Wow. I did not know.
So it's easy to pry them up out of the garden and put them in a pot and then get them started.
That's why they did so well, because all mine were like from Home Depot, and I just threw them everywhere. Literally, just shoved them in the ground, and I
It
figured.
doesn't matter how deep you bury them. You can bury them halfway deep. A
Wow.
full plant like this big of a tomato plant, you can bury 2/3 of it.
Wow.
And then that lower plant will become all roots, and then the top comes out like a fucking tree trunk, like, ah! So if you did that, this is a new type of green that came from Baker Creek. That's like a bok choy. See how it's kind of bok choying?
Yeah.
But it's a cross between a kale and a bok choy, so it grows more vertical instead of the bok choy is like a big head
Yeah.
with all the little fans. That's more vertical. And so our peas haven't found the trellis, so I'm just gonna come in here and push them onto the inside or make sure they grab it. See how they start falling over this way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that.
How old are these? The peas?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It's really cold in here, so you could
So
grow,
yeah, you could catch up still.
you could grow peas if you planted What's your nighttime low now?
In this.
40s.
Yeah, right now it is, but it's unusually kind of cool right now. So
So you should have planted them a month
50,
ago,
60.
and you would have had a whole pea harvest. Your peas had been up 6 feet, and you'd have tons of peas.
well,
You could try
we're gonna get started when I get home on the peas
try
because
peas right away. Yeah.
we added it to the baby food list. So now, like last year was just free food. This year we're trying to literally go for free baby food.
So
Carrots,
These
squash.
are regular peas, which are shelling peas that make peas.
Yeah.
There's another subspecies called snap pea, and you heard of them, sugar snaps.
Yeah.
They're not the same. You can't plant them in. You can plant these peas in 15-degree soil. They grow below 0 to 18, just like all cold weather crops. A regular pea, the kind that is called a pea, but
Yeah.
sugar snap pea or snap pea is warm. It's like a bean.
Okay.
That you have to plant it when it's well above 50, let's say, for the low.
So this is something I could have threw in the ground when I put
the
the
winter.
potatoes and onions where I live.
Yeah.
So now all that stuff's like the potato plants are already growing out.
Right, but try one harvested pea right now because it's still cold at night.
Okay.
Because it only takes 50 days. And then you can also plant sugar snap, and those will grow all summer 20 feet high, and you'll have peas all summer
Wow.
if you protect them from birds.
Is it like some of the other plants where the more you pick, the more it'll grow?
Yeah.
Okay.
But just like a regular pea, it keeps going up, so you're picking the peas up, so there's nothing down here. The new peas are all the ways on the top.
Okay.
And you'll need a ladder if it gets 8 feet
I
high.
have a bunch of this.
Cattle panels, yeah, the people throw them out all the time, so that's perfect, and it holds itself up just by sticking it in.
And just think about all the nuts. You know, they're always talking about their health, and they're going to the store and they're buying like 3-month-old organic food that's really
Sprayed with some kind of chemical.
yeah. And
And
it's
we're gonna have
this is a live refrigerator.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our first 6 strawberries. There's one's growing. That'll be done in 10 days. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so these are our first strawberries, and then we have strawberries outside. And these are pine berries. I don't even know if they. Yeah. So the pine berries already have pine berries. So we're gonna be getting fruit out of here quick. They're everywhere. Now the only look at that. It's gonna be huge. There's look at them all.
Yeah. Let's see.
The only problem with these is you gotta get rid of the roly-polies. Do you have those in your beds?
Yes.
So what we've been doing, and see how hard it is for me to find any, is that Alan and I come out here every morning and collect them in a jar and then feed them to the chickens.
So
We're reducing the population.
you want to leave some though?
Some
you
is
just
good.
can't help it. Because
Some
I've
is
been
good.
leaving
If
them
there's
alone.
too many, they start eating the succulent seedlings.
Ah, that's probably
and
what's
they
doing it.
love strawberries.
Speaking of one, there's one right
so
here.
I just pick them up and throw them away.
You store them outside?
Isopods. Yeah. I don't think they'll make their way in here. I usually just put them in a jar. Because the chicken love them. Look at that French breakfast radish.
Oh, wow.
The white bottom. That's nice. This is a beet from last year. You just let it overwinter. And in the second year, this is going to produce a seed stalk, which is going to come right out of here. This is the seed stalk right now forming. And you can be harvesting all these green leaves and be eating them in soup, and it has a shard-like stem, which is highly nutrient dense.
Yeah.
So this is like an overwinter food that is survival food that just keeps going. And guess what's on the bottom of it? A huge beet that's now a year and a half old.
So what's to the purple theme, though? Is this a nutritional guide? Because I notice, like, you know, the more native and survival stuff you have in your yard, the more purple stuff is in there.
It has more antioxidants, anti-cyanethins, anti-cancer causing
It's just
compounds.
this medicinal, man.
Red rhubarb. And this is another biennial. It's a perennial, they call it, but it's really biennial, which means that it takes 2 years for it to do what it's doing now, which is create a seed. And so this is all French sorrel seed, which is pretty sought after.
Yeah.
It is a lemon green. It's delicious in salads. You can cook it. You can eat the whole plant. And it grows down to zone 3 as a perennial. So it's perfect for cold weather areas. And this baby's seeding. And you've eaten this, haven't you?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah. It's just a daily snack there.
It really tastes like nothing, and then you get lemon.
That's awesome. That's how to zip up your salad right there.
Lemonade. This is what happens if you try to grow watermelons and it gets down to 30 at night. They
Wow.
terrible.
Yeah.
So they're not really doing well.
That's one thing I am growing good now. They're all about that big.
This is a rosemary that's flowering. A lot of people have never seen a rosemary flower. Again, that takes a couple years.
It can be done. Yeah. Well, anyway, what a cool end to a trip. Get some fresh stuff. And you know what's funny though is this refrigerator, all your stuff doesn't go bad whenever the electricity goes out.
Yeah. No, you leave it in the ground until you need it. I mean, like this stand of beets here is from last year, and we still have it. And so, what does that mean? It means we still have pounds of beets in here. See that?
Yeah.
That we can eat and harvest, or we can harvest the greens. So, by leaving it in the ground, you then now in the spring we have a second option of all this green to eat instead of the beet. You can just leave the beet in there and just work off the beet green.
Food all around.
Exactly. Be transplanted.
Wow.
So we're going to put that grapevine somewhere. Hopefully it will produce grapes this year. Which got to be sooner than later.
You got a nice apricot.
More park. That'll just be our first crop. Right there. That's our first crop. All that little green. That's just lettuce from last year. And it's the speckled kind there. See, it's a little bigger.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the sorrels that grows over the winter. This is the second year, so we'll have lemon sorrel right here. That perennial I just showed you. And none of the onions or garlic I planted in there 2 weeks ago is up. I just did like 200 in these strips here, the ends.
That's the clear
and
border.
the whole clear spot there. But I have onions in here. I'll show you those.
There's one onion, something popping up there.
This is our first planting we did months ago. There's still snow on the ground, still snowing. And this is our wheat, and you can see it's thick.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be our wheat crop.
Is this for the temperature?
To
Or is it
retain
food?
moisture,
Oh,
just to
okay.
get the sprout. And then it turns to soil, so it's fine. And then this was because the mustard seed's so small and it has to barely be buried, you gotta hay mulch it or it won't sprout. But look at how much it sprouted. See all that mustard in there?
Yeah.
And this is giant red mustard. These will get 6 feet high. And so there's plenty growing. And these have been growing now for months and they're still tiny. They wait until the right temperature to come up.
That is awesome. There's food hidden everywhere.
No, what this is going to be is a 20-foot long
Mustard.
right? But when it has so many yellow flowers, it's for pollinators. So
It's for the bees.
All
right.
Someone's like, what do you need all that mustard for? I was like, no, I want a wall of flowers for the bees.
Yeah.
Yes, the wall of pollinators. And this is 150 onions and 150 garlic grown in 50 square feet. The onions are on this side and not up, but all the garlic is up early because that can take cold temperatures.
Yeah.
But we'll just be able to come out here and get onions and garlic whenever we want it, early. When you have abundance like this, it doesn't matter if you pull a young clove, a whole thing out young. Who cares? It's still garlic.
I got a question. So you put these the little cloves in there, the little piece of it. How do you tell how much is going to come out of the leaves?
The clove,
And you're not
where
just-
you put it, is the center of the new bulb.
Okay.
So all you have to do is space it from center to center about 5 inches.
Okay.
So what this is going to look like is a bunch of bulbs touching each other.
Ah, I got you.
Perfect spacing.
Sweet. Because I have this pretty much going on. It's just a little more.
It's not as tight.
No, yeah, it's not as tight, but it's also quite a bit bigger now.
Oh yeah, yours should be a foot high.
Yeah.
But now you have to learn about how to harvest onions and garlic, because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to send out the flower, and they're called different things for garlic and onion. But it's a shaft that comes up and it has a curl on garlic, and they call them the ramps. I think maybe has a different name. I think they're called garlic ramps.
Yeah.
I call them ramps. But you got to cut that off, and then you can cook the ramps as a separate dish. They're very expensive to get because they only happen in that mid-season of garlic growth. They're hard to store, but if you buy them, they're worth like $20 a pound.
Wow.
And so the garlic ramps, if you saute them, become this green that tastes like garlic. It's just amazing garlic flavored green. If you don't cut that off, the bulb doesn't form. And all the energy goes to the flower to make seed.
So no flowers.
Right. So when in an onion bed like this, you cut all the flowers as they come up, the ramps. They'll shoot out midway in the growth season. You cut them all off so that the bulb develops.
All right.
You leave 1, 2, 3, or 4 here evenly spaced so that you have an allium flower at the end of the season, which is a beautiful, looks like a snowball.
I have that now.
And then you get seeds.
So basically, we have no onions, but we do have a bunch of seeding colonies.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, because I have.
To grow an onion, you have to cut the flower off when it starts forming.
Okay, so we're way late for that. It's about to pop out.
Right.
So yeah, we'll just
That's
wait.
2 years old. So if it's flowering with a seed head, then it's from last year, and that's this year's growth.
Actually, what they are is leftovers. All of those onions.
But ours are, because it's so much warmer, these are our 2-year-old onions that'll grow seeds this year. This is how big they are.
Wow. Yeah, I have my onions are like this. What's tripped out is we didn't.
You can see there's no bulb. It's like it's straight down there. It never formed a bulb because I didn't take the flower off.
So the cycle's already messed up on our plants because they're from the dinner table. It's the little butt. All the
Yeah, you're
onions
just
out
gonna
there.
get seed from a butt.
Okay, so we're good. Then we're gonna have a bunch of onion next year.
That's all first year onion, and that onion next year when it flowers, you cut off all the ones you want to grow a bulb on.
Sweet.
But onions are easy to transplant. After they grow a year, after that seed falls out, and then you have all the little onion seedlings, you can dig up. Like say if there's 50 there. Here,
Yeah.
I'll show you over here.
All right. Yeah, because this is weird because I'm going to skip right back to the flower over there. It's probably popping all over the place.
So if you drop an onion and you don't get the seed up, where is that? Where's my onion? Here. So this was like a snowball that fell down. The snowball flower has 1,000 seeds. It fell here. And now each one of these things that looks like grass
Yeah.
is an onion.
And you just pull these up and move them everywhere.
You can, repot them in single pots to grow them out in the spring like this,
Yeah.
they're very resilient. And those are all single onions. Look
Oh
at
yeah, I can see the seed on some of the ends of
them.
them.
You can smell it. So those are all onions, and then that's how they grow the little onions that you get. They dry up, called them sets. So that's how you start the sets. So that's onion, and that's crazy, and that's just from an accidental onion falling down there.
Yeah, so I'm doing this I'm trying to do this on purpose here.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Just from the dinner, so we didn't buy nothing. We just, every time we ate, I took that thing outside and buried it somewhere.
Yeah. So that's that'll be the second year, which is the seed phase. Yes, ma'am.
And just think about how many times if you do that, you don't have to buy these things anymore. It's like we're getting organic things.
All onions are sprayed with glyphosate to dry them out, to store them. So
Yeah.
they're already all sprayed. Even organic things are sprayed with chemicals.
Yeah. After you've grown it, there's none of that shit left.
No, that's why you do it. There's more lettuce right there.
Oh wow, yeah. So all my lettuce and bok choy is about at this stage when I left. And the broccoli, it's all little teeny tiny stuff. So the roly-polies are probably the ones chewing on my watermelon things.
Seedlings, yeah.
Bastards.
Because when there's too many, there's not enough dead material for them to eat, so they start eating the fresh, young shit. Because it's easy because they don't have big mouths.
Yeah.
So they're like,
I noticed.
One time I had 12 seedlings. I came out and there were none. The next day, and then it was roly-polies everywhere. I was like, those fuckers.
Well, they were nice enough to only eat one leaf on one side and leave another one because the plant's still growing. Yeah. But
this came straight from the tractor supply. And then this is all planted now. So all this row cropping we're going to do, and it's going to continue to move it around because we're using that broad fork. This was planted, before we left, and look, this is all lettuce. And you see it's all up.
Wow. This is pretty much what I did with all the lettuce, squash, melon material at the end of the year. We just cut it, broke it up, and threw it back down on everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And it seemed to really help the potatoes for sure.
I don't know what this is, but this is also growing. See that seedling in there?
Yeah.
So we might need to get a little water on this, but that's doing good.
It's all teeny tiny, but it'll be big later. Gross.
Gross? You don't like it?
I know what you're talking about, though.
I love those.
It's the apple pear. Yeah. It's not gross. What it is confusing.
It's supposed to taste, yeah. That's it.
Gross was the wrong word because I did eat them and they were good.
I'll show you the 420 cannabis that self-seeded from last year. You want to see that?
Yeah. Let's check that out.
Self-seeded cannabis.
Wow.
Those are our early tomatoes, so those are going to be...
Oh yeah, that looks good over there.
They're going to be banging.
And it is warm in here.
So the peas even look better in here. And this is what carrots look like and seedling. They almost look like a grass.
Yeah.
So the dill is different because it has that little fern leaf on top. Yeah. But that's a carrot.
Well, this is why I was confused. Is in my garden, and way before they get this big, they're already putting out the little
carrot leaf.
Yeah. That's why I was confused by it. I thought it was.
See how some of the.
It's really a trip looking at the same plants here versus where I'm at.
As far as time phases, or
yeah, like they do different things faster or slower.
And some are the same.
Yeah, and well, I was looking at your lettuce and all this. It's like exactly the same as the stage of mine, but my watermelons are all like 2 or 3 inches tall already. They love it. That's the first thing that sprouted. So I have a feeling we're going to be packed with melons. Yeah, this is...
Yeah. If they're self-seeded melons?
No, these are all out of seed packs.
But you put them in early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had them inside for a while, soaking. And It seemed like, I think 2 days we put them outside and they were already up a plant. Yeah, this is cool. I was actually thinking about, I'm gonna be building my deck. We might sacrifice some square footage to put a tub in there, like this.
Hot tub?
No, just a bed like this, but with the metal in here.
Lined.
So, like just part of our porch. Instead of putting another thing, we'll just put a tub at the end of it and then grow shade.
Yeah.
Because most of the year there, sun. Yeah, this is cool. So what do you got going on up here? Spinach.
Just spinach and lettuce. Whatever we can do.
And then you're gonna put this outside or in here?
These can go out there.
Yeah.
They just need to be hardened. But we're not doing anything with it. We'll just grow it until it's a bush and harvest the whole plant around for a salad. It's just to have the option of extra salad.
Oh, I got you. So this is, you can just look at the number of dinners right there. It's like you got it down to a formula.
Indoor blueberries, if they have a greenhouse. It's hard to grow a blueberry unless you need the right soil, the right pH and everything. And you can buy the perfect soil for it with the perfect organic blueberry fertilizer. And every flower is going to be a blueberry.
Oh, wow.
And the birds aren't going to fly in here and eat them.
No.
And it's only going to get bigger next year. So this is like almost a pint here of just berries. And this hasn't even flowered out this side. And then if you cut it back really tight next year, it doubles the production of last year. So each time you cut it, it's double.
So you could literally just look right there, like how much you're going to be spending at the store there.
It's like $9 in blueberries.
Yeah.
And I paid $8 for this plant. So it'll pay for itself the first year and then double it and so on and so forth. Yeah, because these are a patio type blueberry that's supposed to be in a pot. And the same way with the raspberry and blackberry, those are selected for pots.
Oh, cool.
And so we're going to definitely, and because outside here our raspberries get eaten, every berry gets eaten immediately. You need nets.
Nature. Stop laughing at me. Does sound like they're laughing. Let's go check out the bees. Check out the bee's knees. What is this contraption? An electric fence?
It's off. Stay low, that's their lane. Okay. You can see the amount of pollen going in there. I just saw bright orange on the legs. So somehow they're collecting pollen. Nobody has seen them.
Yeah.
Ant invaders. Fire ants. So there was a fire ant hole on the bottom of this, so we just come out here and we'll put some diatomaceous earth out. But can't do that when it's
Get out of the way here. Does that help with roly-polies too? They're beetles.
They're isopods.
Oh, not beetles.
Same
Yeah.
as a trilobite. They self-replicate. They don't even have sex.
I forgot that. They're like those things that come at the tide and shit, the horseshoe crabs.
Yeah.
That aren't crabs. Yeah, that's sweet. Sweet honey.
2, 3,
Oh, yeah.
4. Can you spot any more? Here. 5.
Oh, yeah, if I'm looking for them, for sure.
They're all self-seeded from last year. And these are the plants that will grow 7 to 8 feet high.
These are trees.
They've been overwintering. I mean, it's below freezing every night, and they've been growing for months below freezing.
Wow.
So they're super hardy for here.
Eco-friendly.
Land race.
Yeah, they look sweet. Little babies. Hi, chickens.
That's the most we ever had in one single bed, self-seed, and it's like they've given the space themselves.
Yeah.
So this could be a whole hedge. A whole little hedge.
You guys are some lucky chickens.
They do like to eat at the backside.
You guys will trim it at the fence, huh?